are Moonwalking with Dawn Daze in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yay!
Yes, indeed.
Another fabulous Moonwalking with Dawn Daze episode.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Here, 7-Eleven. I don't know if anybody's enjoying a, nice cool Slurpee.
That's dang.
It is today.
When does that end? What time does that end?
Probably around 11.
Yeah. I'm gonna look that up.
But I think it goes all day. It might go to midnight.
I'm about to let y'all know right now, for anybody that wants to celebrate 7-Eleven Day with us.
Oh yeah. That was like a birthday. Shout out to my brother-in-law Jarrell and my younger cousin Isaac celebrating birthdays on 7-Eleven. So it's a beautiful thing. And yeah, Beyonce got that song 7-Eleven too.
Yep, 7 minutes. 7 minutes.
I'm about to put that one in the rotation a little bit.
I like that. That's a good thing. Shout out to this number. We love 7-Eleven. We love numbers in general. I'm trying to find a time, but I don't see anything. So yeah, y'all make your way over to 7-Eleven. Make sure you take care of that. I feel like it ends at a certain time, but it could be wrong. So instead of waiting, just go there now. Just go ahead and go on over there while you're listening to TKO Radio and hanging out with us. Yeah, you should make sure you're doing that. Big shout out to 101 TKO Radio. Another beautiful day, knocking them out the box. Here live from Atlanta, Georgia. Pretty Stonecrest. Yes, Lord.
Welcome. So, official introduction.
Yes.
What is love? What is life? Universe. We are here, moonwalking with Dawn and Daze on 101 TKO Radio. If you have not already, we're going to go ahead and request that you enjoy this experience officially on the app.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and visit the
it.
Apple App Store, Google Play, and make it happen, but yes, Lord, we're here. July 11th, 2024. Another grateful day to be alive. Another episode. Well, not episode, another show. Because we are a radio show. So it's not necessarily the podcast format, but we create this fusion, and that's what it's been a blessing to experience here at 101 TKO Radio, the opportunity to pioneer new horizons. Mm-hmm. So as we report live here at Privy Stonecrest, the energy of entrepreneurial excellence with focus on melanated beings in our community is high.
The African diaspora.
Yes, Lord. The focus is high. The focus is amazing. And we have celebrated some awesome things as we continue to look at independence. Last Independence Day, the station was closed down. Or last week was Independence Day, and this station was closed down. So as we continue to carry on Juneteenth, our last episode before the 4th, we had GO3 as a guest, General Orders number 3.
The best way to celebrate independence, General Orders number 3, of course.
Indeed, from Juneteenth to the 4th of July and beyond.
Yeah.
So,
if you want to get your own bottle, go to go3vodka.com/5. Ship it directly to your house. But if you're in Texas, the DMV, or Washington State, you can get it at your local store. They have a locator on their website too. So, yeah, we're still celebrating independence. Every day that you alive is a reason to celebrate independence. So you might as well go ahead and get your bottles at GO3 as well.
You get me? It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So, some real cool things that happen in the culture on both of those days too. Again, it's been a season of giving Kendrick Lamar his flowers, and we are adamant about giving many of those that inspire us their flowers, and respectfully understanding how to engage conflict, because conflict resolution is a big thing in our universe, especially in this season. What do you do with that energy? Do you use it as an opportunity to grow, or as an opportunity to shrink? And being in this space where we have the choice, where the pressure can either make diamonds or it burst pipes. So ideally the culture continues to grow in a healthy direction. There's no doubt that this is a thing because so many people love both Drake and Kendrick Lamar, and J. Cole obviously was another big part of that conversation. But there are so many names that we can mention from many different generations that have made a major impact on this culture, this genre that we call hip hop. It's a lifestyle for me. So, Moonwalking with Dawn Daze is unapologetically infinite. We love hip hop. We love our blackness. In that same regard, we do not put ourselves in a box in any way, shape, or form. And that's the kind of energy that we want to embrace with others. That's what Moonwalking is about. As we celebrate Prince, and my name means Prince, so it's beautiful poetry as we honor all of these greats. And Prince and Michael Jackson had a very beautiful connection, even though they had a rivalry. There's no doubt that they're amazing. So shout out to all the creatives out there. We enjoyed a lot of Kendrick with him dropping Not Like Us, celebrating him with family
That music
out
video
here.
is pretty dope. I mean, so many Easter eggs.
A lot
We'll
of
talk about
gems.
it more, but yeah, wow.
A lot of gems, you know what I'm saying?
So well done.
We might have to do a breakdown live on the air at some point. We'll see.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
We'll see how we can get extra video on our stream on YouTube. So again, just thank you for tuning in. You, all of you. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for being here. You can be anywhere in the world that you're here with us, and it's an honor.
Yeah,
So,
so blessing.
Mickey LaDawn, our adventure,
Yeah.
our adventures. I mean, how are you just feeling overall? You know, just a general check-in. 3:44 p.m.
I love
here,
it.
July 11th.
I love it.
We've been experiencing some things, so just feel free to speak to what's your life experience. What has your adventure in life been?
Yeah, I want to make sure we remind us that we adjust the mics so that people can properly hear us in the space. Y'all good out there? You can hear us 1 2 1 2.
Yes, yes, Lord, yes,
When
Lord.
you can hear this Adventure Time correctly. But yes, so for us, so I guess we haven't talked to y'all in about 2 weeks now. So big shout out to all of the guests that we've had in this recent season, who have made the show and made Moonwalking so fun and great. We've got more guests coming around August, and continuing to find amazing people in the community. So of course, make sure you guys hit us up. Follow us on the NASA family. Follow 101 TKO Radio. We have all the information we need about how to become a sponsor or how to be featured on our show in the future. All on that website, all on our Instagram. All that information is there because, when we talk about our adventure of the week, can't help but also consider, the people that we have had on the show, people that have been so great to us. Big shout out to the people in the TikTok universe that's watching us right now, sending gifts through. I see you. I appreciate you.
TikTok.
Yes. I love it all. Everybody that's connecting, please stay connected to us. We appreciate the active engagement. It means a lot. So yeah, the adventure of the week. Yes, for Dawn Daze. It was so nice celebrating 4th of July and spending time celebrating independence with the family. We call it 4th of July, but we can call it, just celebrating independence because that's the biggest thing it is. And an excuse to barbecue.
Oh, yeah.
So we ate some really good food, really good barbecue, slow cooked, smoked, a whole assortment of things. So it took us the full weekend to be able to really make a dent. We still got leftovers, so that's a blessing. Big shout out to family and McDonough, auntie and uncle. Yes, big shout out to you. Thank you so much for the gifts and following and joining the live community. Really appreciate you. I think your name is Ethne, so shout out to you, Ethne. I appreciate you for real. I hope I said your name right. So everybody that's here and active with us, again, much love, much appreciation. And yeah, like Amir was saying, Daze was saying earlier, you learn a lot about yourself and a lot about those that you love through conflict resolution. And it was nice to be able to spend time with family because we were able to learn about conflict resolution actively together. It was an active experience. Talking and spending time together. And sometimes the best way to learn about conflict resolution is just doing it. The best way to learn about yourself is just living in the conversation with others, actively showing up. And this past weekend we did a lot of that with family. How can we actively show up and be in the space together to have, real conversations? Sometimes the hard conversations naturally get brought up once you start spending time together more, intentionally, and that was really nice.
Truly.
And it was good for Daze and I as well. Got some nice couples time and family time in to just reset and appreciate the new season that's settling in. I don't know if anybody is out there, honoring the new moon that we had as well, the Cancer new moon at the beginning of July. It was just recently 7/7, so that number alignment as well. So there's lots of good things happening where a new season is really settling in, and yeah, I hope you guys are finding yourselves on the bright side of the moon. It can be hard sometimes, especially the way that the election is going, and still conflicts in the world, and
some situations.
Situations that are completely outside of our
control. Last time we were here, the debate was literally about to go down. Yeah, we hadn't even had that moment yet.
Yeah.
So
keep your head up, y'all. Stay positive through it all.
There's been some things that have occurred.
Yeah.
Ultimately, when we are able to wake up another day and the sun shines again, there's so much to be grateful for. So
every time.
Learning myself, again, it's a very, very fine line, and again, all my spiritual teachers, and definitely special respect to Michaela and how she's been an inspiration in my spiritual journey. You know, Dawn, literally being a light, an awakening has been consistent for many of us, and with these evolutions of my awakening, there's no doubt that we need to be powerful. We need to understand the power of our words.
Ooh, yeah.
And the vibration, and speaking life over things. If you're tempted to be negative about something, how you translate it and transmute that energy.
Yes. Know what the root of it is. If you're choosing to be, if you're feeling desire to be negative about something, what is the root of that? What's causing you to feel that way? You know, what's happening around you, or what's being said, so that you can approach it in a way that feels more grounded. I think we all get tested. You know, even me just now, kind of interrupting you, like I know that can be a pet peeve of yours. So. You know, being aware of like,
context matters.
Yeah, definitely the context matters. But I say that to say like, you know, every emotion, whether it's anger or excitement or sadness, knowing that emotions and thoughts are all passing clouds in our mind in a way. So we have to make a deliberate decision and be intentional about making a deliberate decision to say, I'm going to act on this emotion. So when you're excited, are you going to act on it, or are you going to observe it and then, respond rather than react? So yeah, I reacted to your words with great enthusiasm and then responded. And I didn't take all the way time to like pause all the way and like respect, like maybe I should wait a second. But it's just an example of like that emotions that build up.
And that's the beauty of life in conversation, because even when it comes down to our approach to striving for a level of perfection, or the aspect of being a perfectionist, or obsessing over perfectionism, we gotta give ourselves grace. We gotta let things flow, and things happen as we receive what we're consciously showing up as. Is this the right way to handle myself in this conversation? At the end of the day, you gotta let things flow. A lot of the best conversations, things just naturally flow. So it's a difference when you come with a motive saying, I need to get this point across, versus I'm grateful for whatever gets communicated.
Yeah.
And it's
I'm just grateful that you gave me the space to talk to you.
I'm just grateful to hear your voice. It doesn't matter what we're talking about. We just be in the space and just enjoy each other. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to grow. I'm grateful for the opportunity to make mistakes. I'm grateful for 24 hours in a day that challenge you to say, man, all of the things in this world and universe, and every day it's a real major thing. Like, how do you measure a perfect allocation of your 24 hours?
Yeah.
You can do so many things on each day of the year. Okay, well, in this day of the year, this month, what's the perfect way to spend? What's the perfect way to spend this holiday? And this is where it's very important to give almighty praise to something higher than yourself, to the ultimate source. Yes, indeed, to love, while also respecting the way that you navigate your world. And a lot of this that we're talking about right now connects to the debate, from the spiritual to the political. Again, there are a lot of mental tools that we can utilize when making a change in this world, but also making sure we're taking care of ourselves and our bodies and our families. So stay educated, stay aware of what's going on domestically and abroad. At that same time, you gotta check in inside a home. You know, your body is home, and you know, God willing, if you have a roof or a location that you call home, then honor that as well, and let that flow into how we show up in this world and how we educate ourselves again. Our vote, our voice, the vehicles for change, our vessels, the actions that we can take through our physical body. So, and it's a blessing to be here with y'all. We're vibing on 101 CKL Radio. A lot of great shows on 101 CKL Radio. Let's just shout those out real quick.
Yes.
You know, Monday we got the mogul, the legend, Johnny Cabell. So get in front of Johnny Cabell with DJ Superstar. I definitely peeped out to the Divine Nine Love, DJ Superstar popping out to the Conclave for Omega Sci-Fi. Much love to.
Big shout out to all of my AKAs in Dallas. Big shout out to y'all. Either Boulay just ended or it's about to end. So big shout out to Boulay in Dallas, my home state, Texas.
That's a vibe. That's a vibe.
In spirit.
Hey man, Divine Nine Love is real.
And big shout out to Texas and love to everybody that's being affected right now by tropical storm, Hurricane Beryl. That's some serious stuff, you know. But I know we in Houston know how to navigate when things like this happen, and I know I already see the city doing so many amazing things to rally together and make light of some of the hard times, and that's a beautiful thing that speaks to our resilience. You know, I'm just seeing videos of like people going swimming, you know, using it as an excuse to not go to work, because why would you go to work? There's no power at your building, and ain't nobody worried about, you know, the day-to-day functions of the business when people are at home without power, can't get on the road. So it's kind of become, in some certain pockets, obviously I'm not, you know, downplaying the seriousness of it. People did lose their lives and lost, you know, some of their homes and
sending love and light,
you know, their things that keep them grounded. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you know, people doing things that people in the South do, you know, things that we would do too. Like for the kids, it's summertime, so you know, sometimes it's a way to even have extra summer. Like you can not be too worried about really anything, and find a way to get creative with the candles and some of the funniest memories I have of my family was when we were in a post-hurricane kind of situation, having to run on the generators and get creative with how we took care of ourselves. You learn a lot about yourself in those kind of moments.
Yeah, it's beyond trauma bonding. A beautiful thing when you can share the team building and sharing a common struggle, but just to use a better word, it's respecting the process. And every city in this planet can potentially be affected by some natural disaster, so you already know there's going to be a challenge. And going back to conflict resolution being a major theme, what do you become? Who are you when it's difficult? And that's really the measure of an individual. You know, it's not when everything's going well for you, but you know, when you're having hard times, and that's where when you get to see other parts of those people, absolutely, and that's where faith comes in, and that's where it's really faith bonds. It's beyond trauma bonds. It's having these opportunities to say, you know what, we don't know what tomorrow's going to be like, and that's where it's also shout out to the film Quiet Place, Day One.
Ooh, that was so good.
Shout out to Lupita Nyong'o.
Yes.
Hopefully I said that correctly and keep on working.
Nyong'o. Yes.
Nyong'o.
So Lupita, she killed it.
Man, like just the acting, the facial acting, phenomenal. So it's just putting things in perspective. Who are you during hard times? And definitely as a country, we've been challenged. The whole idea of, again, making America great again, or the idea of channeling hope.
Yeah, the amount of like apocalypse.
Invigorating. Oh yeah, it's a lot. I mean, but
that are kind of reminding us to have hope. You know.
We don't live through some of these things a little bit as well. Even when it comes down to 2019 coming into 2020.
Yeah. And
the state of the world and the mental, physical, and spiritual challenges that we're having. It's humbling. It's humbling.
It really is. I laugh just because like Amir, Daze and I have been going through our own, you know, growth and challenges. For those that don't know, we are in a relationship. This is my man. You know, we are a partnership of love.
Twin flag.
And business. Yep. And over this past week, we've been having a lot more of those deeper conversations about what we want out of life, lessons that we want to make sure we're ahead of moving forward. We've been seeing other people in our village and in media, movies of stories played out that we haven't experienced, like talking about marriage and kids, that just being one big door that we haven't fully walked into yet. So when I think about an apocalypse movie, you could do all that you can to try and prepare for that ahead of time and like take all these precautions, buy the water, get the toilet paper, board up the windows, have your toolkit as much as you want, but you don't know what's going to happen and how it's going to go down until it actually friggin' happens. So that's something we've been talking about a lot. We can talk about it and plan and be on guard and talk about every scenario as much as we want to, but there's nothing going to be compared to our in real time.
I just thought
action.
of a wild skit.
What?
How do Drake and Kendrick treat each other if they're in a situation like A Quiet Place and it's just them?
Oh my gosh, that would be good. Kendrick's gonna try and leave him. He's gonna try and like sabotage.
They really, and that's the most amazing thing I think about.
I don't know. What do you?
Being able to respect your biological timeline. I mean, when as a human did you come onto this planet, and what generation are you born into? Just respecting Father Time and Mother Earth. And these are brothers that, quite frankly, pretty much got a decade on me. You know what I'm saying? About 9 years, about 10 years with Cole, about 9 years with Drizzy, about 8 years with Kendrick. And technically, I have a competitive spirit, so since they're still active, they could be competitors if I consider myself to be a competitive MC. It's not like they've retired. But there's no doubt that there are different dynamics in different generations. So being on some of our spiritual journeys, and even as we experience this with a plethora of elders, and even in certain situations where we become elders and are humbled by the youth, it's humbling. It's so humbling because when I look at these brothers, it's like, man, I was like, low-key going through, like, I gotta laugh at myself of everything, because I'm just having this whole crisis with myself, like, who am I as a man based on how I feel about who I'm supporting in this battle.
Oh yeah.
And so, yeah, man, we'll talk about this a little bit on the next segment in more depth, but it's just so entertaining to think about how perspective changes. It's like, okay, in one scenario, you're the worst enemy, but the next the best of friends.
Every time.
Yo, Moonwalking. That's what we doing, right?
Yeah, continue to do it, always and forever. We're going to get into some music vibes, and we'll be back. Moonwalking with Dawn Daze on 101 TK Radio.
Yeah. Moonwalking with Dawn Daze on 101 TKO Radio.
Woo! Yes.
Back at it.
Yes.
Yes,
Make
indeed.
me sweat.
It's a beautiful thing. Man. Beautiful thing.
Shout out to Wada.
The vibes are vibing.
We're vibing.
It's Thursday. We're getting the weekend started early.
Yes.
It's, having a good time, man. It's having a great time.
We love Friday Junior.
Oh, yeah.
And isn't Friday Junior even better when you're listening to Moonwalking with Dawn Daze on 101 TKO Radio? I swear that makes Friday Junior better.
I think it's the only way
Yeah.
to spend your Thursdays from 3 to 5.
Shout out to the people who join in on TikTok and Instagram. We see you. We appreciate you.
Yes, indeed.
Love it.
Appreciate the love. Appreciate the support. It's a beautiful thing. Again, anytime we can come together, we can dance, we can have a good time.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Unity.
Yeah. That's what NASA Family's all about.
It is. And that's what brings us back to our most recent conversation of how, a little bit of conflict can bring us together. And it's all about
Healthy
conflict
eating.
resolution.
Healthy eating.
You know? And to a certain extent, the fact that we have a culture with hip hop that was created to help channel our anger, our pain, intensities into something positive, and now that this is the number one genre, it has captured the entire world's attention in a whole different way. And with the internet age, the fact that we have this case study, if you will, we have this experience as a collective of seeing two of our greats go head to head and there not be a death that we are currently mourning. And clearly we have to continue to do the work and protect ourselves. I know there have been some situations, Rick Ross was in Canada, there was a situation there, we know the security guard outside of
I'm not laughing at
Drake's
pain,
studio or Drake's home.
Yeah. Sorry, Coach.
And it's just a lot of energy, a lot of nonsense, and it's one of those things. Like I said, I had to really check myself going through this because I found myself in a little bit of my own just spiritual warfare moment. And not that I'm in a crisis per se, but it was a big deal, and it was like, this is time to make a choice. And folks talked about choosing sides in different capacities, but really I think it was important to understand why this might have triggered one party or another, and why people felt compelled to stand on this side or that side. And this is where it's interesting with the election as well, of being two sides of the same coin, and how you have the red and blue, but with that purple heart bringing it together and combining the forces. And that's what we saw with Not Like Us and Pop Out with Ken and Friends, that being a moment to unify a coast and unify a culture of black people overall. And we have legends like Tommy the Clown, who after the 1992 Rodney King riots, I just learned that style of dance, clowning, which also evolved into crumping, it was really a movement to help channel that anger after those riots.
Yeah, a beautiful act of protest and expression. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
While we're on this subject, I do want to touch on, as I'm learning more and more and going deeper into my own group fitness and yoga journey, there is real power in the movement of the body. Energy can get stale in our body, and that staleness of energy and something sitting in your body for too long and you don't have a way to release it, it can result in very serious health problems. There's a clear connection between movement and dis-ease in the body. So dis-ease in the body comes from a lack of movement and a lack of taking care of ourselves. And crumping and twerking and gyrating, moving our body that way can help to release in a way that sometimes just normal stretching or walking can't do. It gives you a different type of force and energy to express and release. So definitely want to just big shout out to crumping, and big shout out to just moving the body in a healthy way. So much respect to Tommy the Clown and the whole movement, and how Not Like Us, and a lot of Kendrick's music, he showcases that, like the connection between movement and how that's an act of righteous self-care. Hey, big shout out to Tamika, Rochester family in the building.
What's going on?
Soul Squad.
Yes, indeed.
So yeah, I wanted to make sure that you finish your point, but I definitely want to just take that pause to give a shout out to the power behind crumping, the power behind twerking, and why we don't need to demonize it. Like there's something to it. There's something spiritually righteous and good for you even about dancing in that manner.
Absolutely.
So yeah, ooh, preview. So
Oh man,
dancing in that manner. Yep, let it out. Minds over matter.
it's incredible. It's incredible, man. It's awesome just to embrace.
Thank you, Tamika. You a real one. You a real one.
Gratitude. It's phenomenal. You know, just realizing that those things that you learned at an early age really serve you the most, more than anything else. Remembering how to just have fun, play outside in nature, learning how to care for yourself and fellow human beings. And if somebody's not doing well, hey, how you doing? Just dancing and having a good time, laughing when nobody's watching. So it's just continuing to have that, you know, pure heart as well. Love like you've never been hurt. Dance like nobody's watching.
Cheesy, but it's real.
It's real. It's real. And it's necessary. It's necessary for us to respect.
Yeah.
Respect the power of it. So keep on dancing. Keep on expressing. And like I said, just before we were talking on the break, I'm sure they will make one of the most amazing albums ever. Because not to spoil too much of Quiet Place.
The new one.
Yeah, the new one, Quiet Place Day One. That said, music was a big part of it. So when it's all said and done, how does it all come back to music? The simple things and human connection. And if you can't use your words, how do you communicate with others?
Mm-hmm.
And just if quote unquote the world shut down and there was an apocalypse and Drake and Kendrick had to be trapped in a room, they might have some differences, but I'm sure eventually they will get to create some classics together. We'll probably get some more poetic justice samples. They'll probably mess around with sample Prince, since they already sampled Janet Jackson on track. They probably.
They still gonna sample Michael.
Oh no, of course, you know what I'm saying. There's a lot of options, but I was just saying since the Jackson family.
No, yeah, I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like this love. I'm sure they sample plenty of discographies. But man, it's just funny. It's just funny just to think about how perspective can change a lot. And in this kind of scenario, even with us approaching the Olympics, 2024 Olympics, again, a lot of big news in sports. You know, it's just so much. You know, pretty much that same day, I think we were here last. We hadn't heard the news of Bronny getting drafted number 55 and officially coming to the Lakers to play with his father, LeBron James, and that happened for the first time in history.
Yeah, this is all very on point conversation for our Planet of Love segment that we're doing. So a big shout out to that. Yeah, I'm even thinking about with the Olympics, not only Bronny, that being a big moment in history, but even in my own family, my godbrother he qualified for the Olympics, so he is going to be in Paris competing. So that's super cool. Saw the video of him and everything for the long jump. Yes, I'm ready for the Olympics too. Like I was already gonna watch, but now I have even more reason to watch. I got family competing, so many good things coming right now and good news in the air. And big shout out to Ronnie and the whole James family. Say what you want, but did you get your kid to the NBA? Are you in the NBA? Say whatever you want to say, but don't hate the player, hate the game.
Hey.
And
go ahead and be the next father son duo. If y'all got something to say, go ahead and be the next one.
Yep. Prove it wrong then.
It's a great thing, though. It's a great thing. Many different topics that we can explore. It's a blessing to be able to connect on a universal front. And that's where we have to give flowers to a lot of these cultural, some folks call them icons, but they're really ambassadors. A lot of people in politics vote for who they think should be in office there, and there are also certain votes that people make in the culture of what we do or don't celebrate. And the BET Awards is one of those interesting moments that
More to come later.
represent the complexity of what the black experience is, even though it is not black owned anymore. There are still strong influences that we have and leadership positions that we have, but ultimately Viacom, CBS owns BET now, and that is a important thing to understand. And being in America as well, when we do business domestically and internationally, it's important to understand who we answer to, if you will. And a lot of folks must either deal with the government or deal with very large corporations when they're building their own endeavors and they reach a level of success, because a lot of these major corporations will come in and buy you if they feel like you build something that is strong and successful and they can benefit from it. And that's the complex crossroads you reach. Do I stay in ownership with myself and with my community and with my team that I built here, or do I sell this for the greater good of getting that check? But it might not be the greater good for your morals and where you actually want to take the business. If your profit, if what drives you is beyond just the dollar profit, but if you genuinely want to have a strong message with your company and make a strong impact, and it's not all about the dollars, then things will get interesting. And sometimes these large corporations, just like any powerful entity, if you are the one with the leverage and the real power, then they might not be asking you to sell. They might be telling you. We're not asking if you want to sell this. We're telling you, and that's a big deal with our community's eminent domain, and how in a lot of situations we get kicked out.
I just gotta say, my sissy is in the building. My sissy, Micaiah, just joined on the TikTok. She said, my braids eat, girl. Thank you, Kaya. I did them myself. Thank you very much. Hey, sissy. What's even funnier is that you came in and I was actually thinking about you, because you were talking about creative control, and I was thinking about creativity, and my sister popped in my head, and then my sister popped into the live. So shout out to Sister Connection.
Hey, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about collaboration. What do you feel about, if y'all heard of the potential collaboration with 50 Cent and Tyler Perry?
Ooh,
that's major.
That'd be a great production team. I feel like it would deliver something in the culture that people would really gravitate to. There might be some controversy. I think it would spark a lot of conversation. But I would tune in. I want to see what happens.
Man, especially because I know 50, I believe, just also built a studio of his own physically in the state, in the South. It might have been in Louisiana. I don't know if it was Shreveport.
It might have been.
Yeah, it was Louisiana. Yeah, so
if I'm not mistaken, it might have been in
Don't let me look it up.
not New Orleans, right outside.
not Baton Rouge.
Yeah, I want to say it might have been Baton Rouge.
It might have been.
I can see Baton Rouge.
Hey, I think that would be very impactful, and
It says
everybody's
Shreveport,
been
by the way.
saying
Shreveport, okay.
Everybody's been saying, hey, Tyler, collaborate with some other content creators, and I think 50's had a very strong impact.
He's been very outspoken about it.
Absolutely, and I mean just with the quality of his content and how it's connected with people and how people love the Power series, of course. But he's been, doing visual art for a minute with Get Rich or Die Trying with that film. So I think that could be a strong force.
Right, and then you know what I also like about him, he's not afraid of paying, the actor their worth. Paying like the Mary J. Blige and everything, who, unfortunately a lot of, the black women, they're not getting paid what they, what they're worth. So I think 50 Cent is not afraid of doing that.
That's so true. That's so true. And we need more people prioritizing that and doing that. Especially with Taraji, she was saying the same thing too, coming out about that. I love that. Great point.
Hey man, shout out to the black women. Shout out to Michaela's younger sister, Micaiah. Hi, Micaiah. I know you're so excited to see your sister, but I'm here too. It's all good. I'm used to being ignored, folks. It's all about Pretty Michaela. We here though. We here with just celebrating our sisters. I mean, absolutely, that's your sister. You're always gonna be the favorite. You know what I'm saying? I'm just here. You know what I'm saying? If I get a high, I'm humble. But that's just what it is, man. Again, like, you know what I'm saying? That's what it is when you're dealing with that kind of, it girl energy. And I'm humbled by it because our queens deserve to have that respect. And as kings coming together, and again with 50, with Tyler Perry, being able to tell these stories where we also have a different level of ownership in the stories that we tell, and women don't feel like they have to be put into a box and only show one side of themselves to tell a story. And just having that confidence when you walk in different rooms saying, no, we made this in our community. We didn't have to pander to your resources in order to bring this vision to life. And we clearly, again, have a lot of different scenarios with BET, ownership, collaboration. We have obviously had experiences at high levels with PepsiCo, and we respect our country. Again, when it's USA, it's a cool thing to unite. And we got some great brothers representing us in USA basketball. Of course, this is one of the greatest USA basketball teams. Definitely salute to Dr. Kamal, one of the brothers out here that actually is a dentist here in the Lithonia area. But his father, and brother, that they all went out to see the USA-Canada game in Vegas. So it's dope. It's great, man. We played his fiance's song, Deja Lorraine. We played some of her song on 108 KLB radio before. So just being able to see all of these major moments where the USA, yeah, man, we repping. Like, we're going to be cheering for the Olympics, but when it comes down to what America represents in that dollar, and America being built on slavery, and why there's also this obsession with that energy between, black folk and white folk, and how it comes back to that dollar bill, and how we tell these stories. And the stories we have the power to tell. So let's talk about that black future, owning our media. I'm here for it, No, ain't nobody perfect, but you gotta give respect where it's due. And I know Tyler Perry has a recent film that dropped on Amazon Prime. I gotta check it out, but it has Megan Good in it. Apparently, everybody's talking about the opening scene. I heard a little bit on the Breakfast Club earlier that folks were saying that scene was pretty controversial because it opens up at a funeral, and we know there could be a lot of sensitive energy. Mm-hmm. So, what's up, Lonzy? Hey.
Hey, Lonzy.
That's funny. I loved it. The divine alignment.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to be locked in and to be building, and just to see these building blocks. Because how far we've come, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, Lord.
Appreciate the family building. We love the sisters. Yes. Well, it's another great moment, another great installment as we continue to moonwalk with Dawn Daze. Let's get some music vibes going. I think that Daze has a song that he'd like to share with the world. So I don't, no need to put that on.
Yeah, we're going into the days, man. It's a beautiful chapter. It's a new season. This song right here is inspired by rising above whatever you're going through. It's called Minds Over Matters. Let's get it.
What's up, what's up, what's up? We are back moonwalking with Dawn Daze on 101 TKO Radio.
Hola, ¿cómo está? It's a
Muy
beautiful
bien, ¿y
thing.
tú?
Bien, excelente. Hey, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, man. We're celebrating culture, we're celebrating life. We're talking about these new horizons that we see occurring in real time. The culture is shifting. There are many things to celebrate in summer 2024, but one of the most awesome things is to celebrate ourselves, right? And just to see folks still persevering. I know it's not easy out here, but still being able to wake up and shine your light. It's a beautiful blessing.
Just like Umi says.
You did? Shine your light. And that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. We are going to continue to embrace ownership. There are so many chapters that our ancestors have persevered through so that we can be sitting here now in Stonecrest, Georgia. And even when it comes down to competing on a global scale, and a lot of these amazing athletes, you know, from Sha'Carri Richardson to Simone Biles to Noah Lyles, you know, it's a awesome thing. Again, the list goes on of a lot of different great competitors, but with these African American melanated folk that are unapologetically bringing their blackness with them, and showcasing that in their culture. Again, Sha'Carri is, I think, a great example of how she brings that South Dallas, Texas swag
Definitely.
to the track and field.
Yeah.
So
Every aspect of her, she's got that great personality, great energy, very confident. Like you said, swagger. You know, I'm excited to see what she does.
it's global, man. It's in Paris, and we seen the connection between hip hop and Paris, hip hop and fashion, and it's where it's important because we got a lot of perspectives out here. And however you feel about some of those figures that are unapologetically calling out the culture, we got to have the open conversation. We got to have the respectful debate of how we may or may not be feeding into our own demise and contributing to a culture and to resources that really keep us trapped and don't allow us to liberate ourselves. And the whole idea of, I even know the trap movement here in Atlanta is to free yourself. You reappropriate the word. Even when it comes down to, you know, the Trap Music Museum, T.I., Trap City Cafe, a lot of that is a legitimate effort to educate people on the history of trap, but it's very clear that T.I. is not raising his children. Like, even when you have, you know, his son Domani,
Love his music.
Nah, super chill.
Yeah.
Nah, man,
Yeah.
super great vibe. It's clear that he's you know, raised great kids.
And
You
they're
know, we know a little bit of
individual
all
and
individual.
unique. And while we're talking about culture and different, you know, not to do a quick segue,
No,
real
go
quick,
for it.
but like, you know, culture and the responsibility that big platforms have. One platform in particular, Black Entertainment Television, BET, they have some responsibility for things. And when you said T.I., it made me think about all of his kids, and of course his princess, you know, she performed on the BET Awards. But she was probably the most wholesome female performer of the night. Outside of her, there was a lot of, you know, a lot of energy. I'm not mad at it though. I did really enjoy all the girlies stepping out at the BET Awards. I did enjoy the performances. But while we were watching them, I was like, oh, I think I can count how many times an artist ended their show by twerking in front of the camera. There was at least 4 that ended their set by twerking in the camera. And so I think that tells you all you need to know about some of the conversation that's been happening online. Some people praising it, some people not so happy about it. Some women, Black women in particular, feeling like there's more artists and there's more range in our music selection as a Black culture that we could have chosen from to put on the big stage. So I think that was, you know, part of the conversation and controversy. My own belief is that I agree. I think that we do have a lot more depth that we can show on the big stage, but I give big props to what they did on the side stages and on the red carpet stage. I feel like their selection there was really, really strong, and that's why I have to give BT ultimate props, because I saw what they were doing. They were catering to what's popular. Be mad about it all you want, but the ratchet rap girls are the ones that are popular, you know, to a certain extent. They're getting the radio time. They're getting the shine in other platforms. So of course BT is like, well, the biggest people are these people who all happen to be, yes, similar style. They rap about similar content. They do dress similar, but you know, they're still their own unique individuals. But I want to shout out like Baby Tate, Victoria Monet, Tanner Adrell. Yeah, those are some of the big names that were a little bit. Their set was a bit unique. Tyler did a great job, but she, still, moving her hips.
Look, I'm put it like this: you cannot ignore the path that has led us to where we are today.
Yeah.
And if you literally go back to Adam and Eve and this idea of the forbidden fruit, right?
Yeah.
With great power comes great responsibility. And when you take a bite of that forbidden fruit, understanding how important it is to have a relationship with divine source. Again, this is not to be irresponsible with pushing religion onto anyone. I just want to reference the balance of science and religion. And when we even study science and understand the whole aspects of how humans have evolved, showcasing our bodies and the evolution of the black body, and specifically with the black woman, we have Sarah Baartman, who is a major figure.
Do you want to give a little bit of history, just for those who may not know her name?
I was already on.
Bet.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Anywho, as I was saying before I was so kindly interrupted. No, it's all love. But no, literally, for those that don't know, Sarah Baartman was a woman who was essentially put on a circus stage because of her voluptuous figure. And because as a black woman in different parts of the world, primarily Europe and predominantly white spaces, they hadn't necessarily seen a woman with those kind of, curves, essentially. And they would basically treat her like another act in the circus.
Just
so,
by her simply existing.
Exactly. So that objectification leads us to where we are, especially in, European colonized
early
cultures.
1900s?
Yeah, it might have been the 19th century, but it's either the 1800s or the 1900s, I believe. Ultimately, though, it's important to understand these stories because there are many case studies.
Yeah,
There are many.
19th century. She passed in 1815.
There you go. So it's humbling. It's very humbling to see how culture has evolved, and with these women, it's a double-edged sword because when you're already in a situation, I'm not a woman, so I can't completely understand that process of what you go through mentally when deciding to showcase your body or sexuality on this level or that level. But it's almost one of those things where I think Sexy Red is a prominent example of this. There's a level of satisfaction that people get in calling it how it is and just living their unapologetic truth. Because y'all already gonna judge me. Y'all already been calling me a hood rat my entire life. So why not just make a profit off of embracing what y'all already put me in the box as?
Yeah.
And
Which
that's
is
how you
why
get out of your box.
I would vote for her for president. She knows she's running for president.
I love it, man. I mean, it's just, hey, democracy, right? But ultimately, whatever we can do, again, the tension is real. And when people gravitate to something, you got to respect it. That's why a lot of major sponsors for 44 p.m., again, a lot of the money gets spent in places where the attention is already flowing.
Exactly. It's already there. Yeah. Yeah.
So
another part of
Yeah.
where attention is flowing, Will Smith performed at the BET Awards.
we did have that moment.
Yeah, I really enjoyed his new song. I like it. I thought he did a great job. You know, people were like, okay, so you slap Chris Rock and now you come BET. I have a gospel song with Kirk Franklin.
Hey
and
man,
think
come back
everything's
to
gonna
the
be
hood, man. Come back to the family. It's all good. We're gonna love on you.
It's a safe space here, I guess. No, but I did enjoy the
Oh.
performance, but I couldn't help but go, okay, we know what's
Yeah, I
going
mean,
on here.
and that's the funny thing too, because a lot of the youth, especially nowadays, have seen these patterns in a whole different way. So when you see these typical techniques that people use in media, it's like, oh, okay, you have this moment where you're caught up in controversy. Oh, let's go to the church. Let's go ahead and heal it up.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
That he's gonna do. He's gonna come out Christian.
Lord.
Everything's gonna be okay.
Good Lord, everybody, we all need help. We all, Lord help us. But it's a cool thing, man. Just to use music and come back to your roots. So definitely look at the positive aspect of it. Sometimes that's what it is. You gotta realize, you in these people's house. You're not at the family.
You are a
party.
guest.
Yeah. And that's one of those humbling things, because we should feel this is our country as well. We also built this. A lot of these institutions would not be here without us. So that's where it's been a delicate, beautiful fight. And a lot of times the best way to fight the power is just to love your fellow person. Love, you know what I'm saying? The way that Malcolm and Martin fought, had a lot of similarities and differences. But definitely there was a convergence in how they viewed things, especially towards the, towards the latter chapters. So here we are today, carrying these legacies forward. Black entertainment, what does that even mean? I know Donald Glover, Childish Gambino had some moments like, yeah, man, I have more Grammys than Will Smith, but I have the same amount of BET awards as Sam Smith.
Bars, bruh. I love Sam Smith, but that was bars. And he shouted out Tyler the Creator too. He doesn't get a lot of love at the BET Awards either, but he's an amazing artist.
Hey, to be eccentric in your blackness is a risky thing.
Yeah.
And that's not for no reason. So just going back to the drawing board, we can't be surprised. Let's not sit here and act like we don't follow some of the same paths in our evolution. And a lot of young kids, you're fascinated with the adult things that you shouldn't be watching. Again, watching rated R movies before you're necessarily supposed to. So when it comes down to we see a generation that unapologetically puts that on display. This ain't the first time this happened. So let's have the conversation responsibly. Let's find out the root. People ultimately seek out attention. We want validation. So what do I got to do for it? Oh yeah, I like when I dance like this. I like when I do this.
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna keep doing it. It works. That's what numbers don't lie.
Yep.
And shout out to Usher. Last.
I was going to say we didn't even get a chance to shout out Usher, but Lifetime Achievement.
Everybody knew what happened. You know what I'm saying? Chris Breezy. Respect, love.
Would have loved to see
Usher
in that tribute.
You know what I'm saying? But shout out to everybody that did their thing. Contributed. Kiki Palmer, much love and respect. Victoria Monet, Chloe, Tiana Taylor,
Coco Jones,
like definitely.
Marsha Ambrosius,
and then Childish Gambino, shout out to Marsha Ambrosius for sure. And then Donald Glover kicked it off. So shout out to Childish Gambino.
Really well done. Really well done. Well, we appreciate all the forms of black entertainment. So thank you again to everybody that's listening to this.
Keep on keeping on.
Conversation on 101 TKO Radio, whether you're on the app, the website, or one of our many social media platforms. We appreciate you and we see you. We're going to get some music vibes coming and we'll come back to close out the show. Keep moonwalking. Dawn Daze on 101 TKO.
We talk that talk again. Moonwalking with Dawn Daze on 101 TKO Radio. We need these vibrations, y'all. It's bigger than the dollar. It's the impact. It's the craft. It's the love. And that's what 101 TKO Radio is about for real. I know there's some artists out there that's coming with this kind of vibration. So we just want to continue to build platforms that can prioritize this and not make it all about the dollar, man. It's definitely important to get our bag. But even if you get hundreds of Birkin bags, it's different than having hundreds of family at the cookout. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, whatever it is, as much as you might appreciate nice things, they can't necessarily give you a hug. They can't be there, you know what I'm saying, to be a shoulder to cry on. So we got to honor that kind of music that just feels like a nice warm hug, a nice warm embrace. You put it on, ride in the car, you might be going through something, it just feels like, man, I needed that.
I needed to hear that real quick.
Indeed.
And we're going to keep on prioritizing not only listening and discovering that music so we can put it on the airwaves for y'all, but also creating that music. So definitely keep making sure you stay close, you know. Big shout out to Mindful Matter having its, you know, radio premiere this wonderful Moonwalking afternoon, and we'll continue to drop new gems. Yes, continue into the days all summer long.
Yes, Lord.
And as we continue to navigate this days, you know, before we close out of here for this 4:55 moment, but again, 5 o'clock is coming soon. I wanted to make sure we give you guys an astrological report. So right now we are in the waxing crescent moon phase, but the first quarter moon will be coming up. Like I said last week, we had our new moon, and this weekend we'll be going through a first quarter. So the new moon cycle has begun, and the first half of it will be either well lit and the other half will be, you know, dark. So you ask yourself, when we have a quarter moon like this, when half of the moon is lit and the other half is dark, what side of the moon are you going to land on? Are you going to land on the dark side of the moon or the bright side of the moon? And not only is it in the first quarter, but it's in the sign of Libra. So this idea of finding balance and harmony between light and dark, good and evil, even within yourself, is an important time and sense of reflection. You know, definitely make sure you're getting your business done and handling that, but don't forget about like the real communication that's necessary to handle business endeavors. And sometimes businesses also make time this weekend to do the little extra things you can to pour into those that love you and those that give the extra time to you. And also, of course, that top personal list should also be you. You're the one that should be giving yourself the most love if you possibly can. And that Libra sign is all about balancing that out. And so we'll be moving into Libra from Virgo. Today we're in Virgo, but tomorrow we'll start the Libra weekend into our first quarter moon season, all through Sunday. So definitely make sure you're doing what you can to land on the bright side of the moon all weekend long.
Every time.
Every time.
Hey, great weekend coming up.
Yeah, we got a lineup for y'all all weekend long.
Marietta, Georgia. We are sending the bat signal out. Really, the tiger signal. We will be at Tiger ATL tonight. Trap and karaoke.
Yes.
Trap and beat.
Yes.
The vibes will be vibing. And it will be awesome time just to connect, to express. Because that's really sometimes what we need. We just need to feel like
saying it out.
You know what I'm saying? Feel like we in that spotlight for a little bit.
Yeah.
And go ahead. Have your moment.
Yep.
Have your moment.
There'll be drinks and hookah there too, you know. So we'll be there at 9 o'clock.
Broadcasting with 101 TKO Radio. You know the vibe.
Yep.
You know, one of our TKO's own. Skittles will be there. You know what I'm saying? Big one, not the little one. Hosting the vibes. And we're going to keep on keeping on. Again, it's a great opportunity to come out and meet a lot of the different radio personalities that we have, a lot of the different team members that are coming together to really give not only good quality content and music, but just to help give a platform to a lot of you out there, whether you are an artist yourself, whether you are working on a business. This is a great opportunity to come out and network. And if you want to get an interview on one of our radio shows, if you have a business that you want to sponsor, coming out and meeting us at these events are just a great way to build that rapport.
Yes.
It's all about community.
Yes, I love that.
It's popping at Privy this weekend. It's popping at Privy this weekend too. Huh?
Yes. So not only is Tiger a great opportunity to see the 101 TKO radio family, but also we have some great stuff going on where we are housed right now in this beautiful building out here Privy in Stonecrest, Georgia. Every Friday they're doing something for the kids and something for the family. We got the Kids Summer of Peace Camp Series going on every Friday here from 2 to 6 p.m. So you want to make sure you're coming into the building. We've got great things like, we want to make sure you guys can see the flyer. It's every week, all summer long until August 2nd. They're teaching self-defense classes, podcasting, radio broadcasting. Obviously, that'll be taught by the people over here at 101 TKO Radio. A lot of our personalities will be in the building this Friday. Art and music production. It is free. I want to make sure I mention that. Free for the children to come out and experience this right here at Privy, where we're located right now. And then if you want to stay after you pick your kids up, you can come back for the Family Reunion Fridays. Every Friday at 6 o'clock from 9 p.m. A live band will be here at Privy, offering great music and great vibes for the community. And of course, this Saturday is a big moment because not only will our very own Chelsea Speaks be hosting this Get Fit Saturday in our Healthplex here at Privy, but yours truly will be teaching a morning yoga flow at 10 a.m. So I hope that you'll come and do yoga with me, Dawn, and hang out with the rest of our Privy family and be able to experience a full lineup of events for Get Fit Saturday. So like I said, it's the last quarter moon, and so if you want to be on the bright side of the moon, I suggest you come out to at least one of these events so you can get some good vibes from the people in the community out here.
It's a beautiful thing. Let's keep on doing it, y'all. Moonwalking with Dawn Daze on 101 TKO Radio. See y'all soon.
Till next time.
Peace.
Awesome.